Okay, this is my fourth update for the day, and this has got to be the final one because we're coming up on midnight here. It has been one of the longest, worst days in as long as I can remember, and I am doing this update. Sorry for the horrible echo. I needed to find a place where I could be loud enough for you to hear me and that I wouldn't interrupt other people, but that it would be quiet so that other people wouldn't interrupt me. I'm in the tiny little business center of the Clarion Miami Airport. And this is so it's coming up on midnight, and today just ended up being insane. And I hope I have enough battery to get through this update. I should have brought a charger. There's nowhere to plug it down here. Doesn't matter. Okay, so first, when I recorded the update 2 updates ago, when we were going to be leaving the hotel, so our shuttle didn't come as scheduled. They actually missed us. So we ended up going about 45 minutes late in total to the airport. Now, we had built in lots of extra time, so we thought that was no problem. We were still there way before when we were supposed to be. That's why we do this, right? International travel, lots of extra time. You don't want anything to go wrong. Well, we did that. We got to the airport, thought everything was fine. We already had checked in. We already had done all of our paperwork. Everything was in order. We've done this before. We know what we're doing. We got to the line, we went into line, they pulled us out of line because the line was all messed up. That took extra time. Finally, they said, oh, but you're not on the list. You weren't approved by Nicaragua. We're like, what do you mean? We sent this in days ago. We did everything when we were supposed to do it. Nothing was wrong. Everything was done. They're like, it's not on the list. So we dug through, and the mistake was actually kind of on our side. Dominica had forwarded the paperwork and didn't double check that the email system actually forwarded it. It did send the email, but it stripped out the attachments that were the important part of the content. They never responded and said, hey, the contents aren't here. No step along the way ever caught it. There is no confirmation that ever comes otherwise. So there's no way to know unless you look at your sent mail, but she didn't copy me on it, so I couldn't see it, and she never looked at it to double check, and she didn't save and reattach. There's a number of steps that would have protected against this, but she did forward it, and the system acted like it sent, and they acted like they received it, and everything seemed okay. And Avianca, our airline, kept taking things as if they had it, and it just kept moving forward. So she had sent it. It just, one of the problems with our email system is when you forward, sometimes it doesn't forward attachments, and sometimes it does. We have no idea what makes it do it sometimes and not others, but if it's important, you have to double check it, save it, and send it something. If you attach it yourself, it always comes. So that prompted quite the emergency. We spent about an hour in sheer panic. We sent the stuff again, we asked them to re-verify. We tried to get it done there, could not. Got a hold of the airlines, talked to them, spent hours in the airport working with all of the different players, trying to figure out what could be done. Everybody was trying to help us. They kept trying to find, we're like, Nicaragua has it, get them to confirm that they have it so we can get on the plane. Like all of our ducks are in a row. It was just no one could confirm it to let us onto the plane. And we're like, this is insane. So we spent all this time at the airport, in total about 6 hours at the airport. Basically the entire time, the 4.5 hours that we built, plus all the time that the flight was in the air, trying to figure out what to do, trying to find an alternative flight. We were not the only people that this happened to. We were told, okay, well, we'll rebook you because we paid for rebooking, so no fee to rebook. Great. Oh, but we can't rebook you until the flight is in the air so they can cancel you. Okay, so we wait for that. Oh, we can't book you until the flight lands because it doesn't clear the system until then. Okay, but what if, can you just get us to El Salvador? No, El Salvador won't accept you because you're ongoing to Nicaragua. Nicaragua's not gonna take you with the paperwork you have, but we'll do the paperwork in El Salvador. No, it doesn't work that way. My gosh, we just kept going on and on trying to ask, what are our options? Get us out of this airport. And this just went on and on and on all day. And the final thing was, we can't know until much later. So we knew we had no flight. We knew we had no way to fly today because once we missed that flight, the complication with the COVID paperwork is that you have to get it into Nicaragua like 36 hours before your flight, but you have to have it be no more than 72 hours by the time you land. So the actual window to do all your paperwork is tiny, and if anything goes wrong, everything fails. And that's what happened to us. And so it just cascades through the system. We have to start over with enough time to get everything figured out again from scratch. and the next flight is not even until Sunday anyway. There's no interim flight to take. So we are hosed as far as that goes. So we did all that. We got booked at the Clarion, which is where I'm at, where we'll be the next 3 days. We have to be here at least until Sunday. There's no way to speed that up. Nothing that can be done. And if we go to an interim country, yes, but it's really complicated because we got to get that country to take us, and then it's got to get us to Nicaragua again, and we'd have to do it as 2 separate transactions. We can't use our free change of flight. So holy cow. Luckily, we have found places to get our COVID test done for round about $400, which minimizes the loss, but we're still looking at pretty close to $1,000 lost, plus 3 days. And if we can fly in on Sunday, that's the election day. The one day that everybody's been warned to stay out of the Capitol, do not travel, do nothing, just hide. That's the day we're flying in. So just to add stress to everything else, right? So everything that could go wrong pretty much went wrong. This whole time we got no food, we had no water, we hadn't really had coffee, we didn't really get breakfast, definitely didn't get lunch. So we finally got a shuttle. That required walking forever. We probably spent 45 minutes just walking to try to get a shuttle. And remember how much luggage we have, right? This is completely insane. We're so exhausted. We're so sore. We haven't sat down all day. We've been standing, yelling on the phone. Dominica must have put in at least 4 hours on the phone. So we finally get a shuttle that takes us to the Clarion. Everything's fine. Check into the Clarion, no problem. Get into our room. And then I had to panic work because I had customers waiting for me. But before I could work, I had to call someone back, and we had a huge disaster at the company today that I'm really stressed out about. And it's, today really put me into kind of an emotionally vulnerable state, partially because just a lot of disaster. There was a lot of lost money. There was a lot of stress. I'm really tired. I've had no food. And then this really dramatic thing at the company that I'm really stressed out about. And then I couldn't get out of doing that. So then I was late for customer work that needed me. So I finally got in and worked for a customer for a while. So at least I got some good customer work done, which I really needed that to force me to focus and do something productive. Got that done. Then while I was doing that, Dominica was on the phone getting the flights rebooked, which she did manage to do. It was really hard for her to do it. Hours more. They hung up on her after 45 minutes. She had to do it again. Just this horrible, ongoing, long-term thing that just wouldn't end. Finally, by about 8:30, we were at a point where we're like, okay, let's try to get some food. We finally don't have to be doing something right this moment, although I still have work I have to go do when I'm done. So while I'm uploading this, I have more customer work to do. Then she just couldn't handle going anywhere. So Liesl and I walked down to the Thai restaurant where she wanted dinner from to pick up dinner. Way down at the end of the block, so it's a 15-minute walk one way. We tried to call and place the order. Of course, they didn't pick up, and it just went to a fax machine. We looked everywhere. That's their only number. They have to go to a fax machine. Who even has a fax in a restaurant these days, let alone hooks up their only phone to it instead of having a business phone? You gotta be kidding me. But no, we walked down there anyway. Get down there. Of course, every single thing says they're open. Their website says they're open. Google says they're open. Everything says they're open. It's full of people, but they lock their doors. Not answering the phone and telling people they're not open, not updating their website, locking their doors and making you travel there and then find out. So then we had to travel all the way back to the hotel and find food again. So there's another half an hour of walking lost. It's now 9 o'clock at night. And Liesl and I ended up going to Ping right next door to the hotel, which we should have started at anyway because it was next door to the hotel. Ordered dinner. That took 20 minutes or so, a lot of confusion there. We brought that back to the hotel. I fed everybody. We discovered that my meal had been forgotten. I walked back to the restaurant. It's now 9:30. Go back to the restaurant and eventually get able to talk to someone. And they're like, oh my gosh, we forgot your meal. But of course they had completely forgotten it, even though it was a special order and I talked to, I can't figure out how they forgot it. So there's another 15 minutes waiting out there. At least they rushed it, but still 15, oh my gosh, it was basically 10 o'clock by the time I got into the hotel with a meal that I was able to sit down and eat and watch a few minutes of Indigo Traveler while I ate. And it was a really stressful, long, exhausting day. And I figured out at about 9:30 is the first bite of food that I'd gotten today, other than half of an English muffin this morning, and 2 tiny cups of coffee. I forgot to have water all day. That's how busy we were. 10:30 tonight is the first time that I had water today. it was so stressful. We were so busy that not eating and not having water all day and not even having maybe half of my normal amount of caffeine, didn't even feel any of it until almost the end of the day. And now we're just crashing from everything. It has been just the worst, most draining day. Now tomorrow, on Friday, obviously I have to work and we have to go get COVID tests. And of course we can't do anything with them. We just have to get them, get the results. Hopefully our really sick children, Luciana is really sick. It's just a cold. She has a really bad cold, which is nothing like COVID, but still we're worried because COVID could be anything, right? Got to pass our test, then we got to send that to Nicaragua, we got to send that to Avianca, we got to get everything double checked, start the process over again, and then we're still stuck here all day tomorrow, all day Saturday. We have no plans, we have no idea what we're going to do. And then Sunday, if all goes well, we travel in the afternoon, we arrive late at night. And so we've booked the Best Western by the airport because it's only 300 feet from the airport and we can get there no matter what is going on in the city. So and there's no way, everyone says, even if you get into Managua, do not leave, don't attempt any travel on the election day. And so we're just gonna get to the Best Western where thankfully they have a restaurant and we can walk to it if we have to and they have a shuttle from the airport, and we're just gonna hunker down to the Best Western and wait probably just until Monday. But that means we were supposed to be in Las Piñatas right now, right? We were supposed to have met the lawyers, met Paul, met Yvonne, done a bunch of work in Managua, gotten in the van. All this was booked and ready to go. Everybody was lined up and have been to Las Piñatas. We should be getting to Las Piñatas right about now. It is Thursday. We will not get there Friday. We will not get there Saturday. We will not get there Sunday. We hope at this point nothing goes wrong and we get there Monday. That's how much delay just happened in our schedule. It is awful. If all goes well, I'm hoping we can rent a car and go see some stuff. Luciana wants to go see the zoo. I want to drive out to the Keys. I don't know what else there is to do in Miami for us. I have no idea, but I'm feeling very stressed and very tired, and I need to keep drinking water because I'm sure I'm still dehydrated. I've only had so much. Today, I'm going to get this uploaded. I have all the other updates uploaded. The site is up to date, and I'm going to attempt to get a little bit out on Instagram. Sorry for the really long update. There's just no way to cover everything that happened today. I'm sure I'm missing all kinds of big things that I just can't think of. I will see everybody tomorrow.